According to the Akashic records, what is the spiritual purpose and origin of dyslexia?
According to the Akashic records, dyslexia is not a disorder in the spiritual sense. It is a different neural and soul-coded way of perceiving and interpreting energy, language, and information. At its core, dyslexia often reflects a soul blueprint that prioritizes multidimensional processing over linear logic. In other words, these individuals may have incarnated with wiring that is more attuned to pattern recognition, creative flow, emotional resonance, and symbolic understanding than to standard forms of reading or writing. Many souls with dyslexia are old souls, starseeds, or bridge builders whose internal systems resist conformity for a reason. Their consciousness may be adapted for higher sensory integration, picking up emotional undercurrents, spiritual frequencies, or energetic structures behind language rather than surface-level decoding. From the Akashic view, dyslexia can signify a soul path where the individual is meant to rediscover new, intuitive, and even artistic ways of sharing truth, learning, and expressing what cannot be spoken in conventional terms. The challenge these souls face in traditional learning environments often stems from a mismatch between their internal soul structure and the overly mechanical left brain educational systems on Earth. This friction can catalyze deep self-awareness, compassion, or even soul missions to reform how we teach, communicate, and honor neurodiversity. So spiritually, dyslexia isn't a flaw, it's a frequency, one that may hold keys to nonlinear wisdom, ancient memory, and the rebalancing of how we value intellect, intuition, and communication on this planet.
According to the Akashic records, what is the spiritual origin and purpose of schizophrenia?
According to the Akashic records, schizophrenia is not simply a malfunction of the brain. It is often a multidimensional misalignment between realms of consciousness. Spiritually, it can be understood as the soul's veil between dimensions thinning too early, too quickly, or without grounding, causing the person to access frequencies beyond the third dimension without the tools to interpret or regulate them. From this view, schizophrenia can sometimes arise in highly sensitive souls, old souls, or those with spiritual gifts that haven't yet been harmonized in the body. These individuals may be hearing, seeing, or feeling beings and messages from other planes, not because they're broken, but because their multidimensional sensitivity is unfiltered. However, when the nervous system and ego structures aren't fully integrated, these perceptions become overwhelming, fragmented, and disorienting. Karmically, schizophrenia may emerge in a life where the soul is attempting to bridge realities, sometimes to clear distortions from past lives where spiritual power was misused, or to awaken dormant gifts through contrast and suffering. But without healing, support, and alignment, the inner voice of guidance can become drowned in conflicting energies, ancestral trauma, or unresolved soul contracts. The spiritual purpose then is not punishment, it is initiation, a call for deep integration. Many shamans and mystics throughout time would undergo similar madness as part of their awakening, but they were held by community, ritual, and earth-based practices that helped them return with clarity. From an Akashic perspective, healing schizophrenia involves restoring spiritual boundaries, grounding the soul deeply into the body, clearing external entities or attachments, and helping the person cultivate discernment between divine guidance and interference. It may also involve ancestral healing, nervous system regulation, and vibrational therapies to bring coherence to the mind-body field. In essence, schizophrenia is not a spiritual failure. It is a crisis of perception, a collapse of the veil, and a soul reaching through the noise for remembrance.
According to the Akashic records, what is the spiritual purpose and origin of having OCD?
According to the Akashic records, the spiritual purpose and origin of Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder, OCD, often lies in a soul's desire to experience control, order, and the mastery of the mind across lifetimes. Souls who carry OCD tendencies may have experienced past lives marked by chaos, betrayal, trauma, or deep instability, where their safety or survival depended on control over their environment. The residual imprints from those incarnations can create an intense energetic loop in this life. manifesting as obsessive thoughts or compulsive behaviors that are meant at a soul level to restore a sense of safety or alignment. But from the Akashic perspective, OCD is not merely a disorder. It is a call to harmonize the mental and energetic field. Often souls with OCD carry a heightened sensitivity to subtle energies, and their need for precision or repetition may be the mind's attempt to translate spiritual frequencies that aren't fully integrated yet. This is especially true for advanced souls, starseeds, or healers in training whose inner systems are trying to tune into a higher vibrational frequency but become entangled in the lower frequency patterns of anxiety or fear. The deeper purpose is to transmute the compulsion into devotion, to turn repeated action into sacred practice. When mindfulness is applied and the root fear is met with love and presence, the same energy that once fueled the obsession can be redirected towards spiritual mastery. In essence, OCD is a karmic refinement process. It asks, can the soul find peace in what it cannot control? Can it trust the flow of life without having to organize it all? The journey out of spiritual OCD is not just about healing the brain, it's about opening the heart, releasing the grip of past life survival patterns, and remembering that true order comes from surrender, not control.
What is the spiritual truth of ADHD? Is it really a superpower or is it a hindrance?
According to the Akashic records, ADHD is not a flaw or purely a hindrance. It is a different energetic blueprint of consciousness that can become a superpower when understood and aligned with. The spiritual origin of ADHD souls with ADHD often come into this world carrying faster multidimensional frequencies. Their minds and nervous systems are wired to receive, process, and create at speeds that don't fit the rigid structures of the modern world. They are often starseeds or old souls who operate more fluidly between dimensions, meaning linear time, conventional schooling, and traditional work models can feel limiting or unnatural to them. Why it feels like a hindrance when society labels these traits as disorder, it forces these individuals to suppress their natural flow. The challenge arises not from ADHD itself, but from trying to function in systems not designed for non-linear, creative, and high-frequency thinkers. This friction can lead to anxiety, self-judgment, and feelings of inadequacy. The hidden superpower. The Akashic records reveal that ADHD carries gifts like hyper-focus on passions and soul-aligned activities, which allows for deep creation and innovation. Rapid idea generation, a form of multidimensional thinking. Creative genius and intuition, as these souls often see patterns, possibilities, and connections that others miss. Energetic sensitivity, making them natural empaths and visionaries. The path of alignment. When someone with ADHD learns to work with their natural energy through creative expression, meditation, movement, or non-linear schedules, they can tap into extraordinary productivity and intuition. Their restlessness is actually their soul's way of resisting stagnation or unaligned paths. Final Akashic insight. ADHD is a reminder that human consciousness is evolving. What we see as disorder is often a sign of a soul carrying new templates for living, learning, and creating. It becomes a superpower when embraced and channeled.